Okay, sorry for the delay, but we are here. So we are onto visuals, and I hate doing visuals, but there you go. I don't hate it. Usually when I get into it, it's all right, but it's definitely having to push myself a bit here. But we just did a run of the game this morning, and I found that it was fun. It was incredibly imbalanced, but that's to be expected. There are a couple little issues, like ultimate's not working. Oh yeah, I think I figured this one out. Double buff. Let me just write it down before. Double buff. Okay, yeah, I think I might have figured out. So there was an issue where, oh no, that shouldn't affect it really, but maybe it would. So there's a chance for buffs to have a double effect. So anyway, where was I? Just before I get stuck into something. So yeah, a couple little issues. Lucy Ultimate not working. There was this weird issue with the magic staffs where I had like a level 1 magic staff that looked like the human one. So there's probably some sort of issue there. I have an idea about that actually. Actually, hold on. Sorry, I'm getting stuck into it again. So yeah, maybe I'll do a bit of bug. I'll do a bit of investigation on bugs before I start drawing, animating. But yeah, we're basically there. The game is in a good state. It's optimized. It runs very smoothly, even when there's like the maximum amount of units you'd expect. So that is really good news. Brilliant to be here, especially after all the refactoring that we've done. So bugs were expected, and so now I'm kind of just on to making the game prettier. There's a couple design points to do, but on the whole we're good. I think I did like the demon wall. What did I do with demon wall? Gave him a hammer. No, I think he should have a shield. We'll see. It was quite fun because he basically heals, and then he heals and shields, which is like a rare combo. It's just a very defensive thing, although he looks like an aggressive bastard, so it's a bit weird. So we'll look into that. Replace Mirror and Mirror Blade. What does the Satyr have? I haven't actually used the Satyr yet. I fought against them, but I can't remember what they have. So usually if I just put the quote, I get right to this. Heal and bow. Yeah, that's right. Good. So game is in a very good state. Now we just need to kind of focus on visuals, sound effects, fixing the little bugs that will come up as we play. And this is going on the back burner. So I'm going to put that after this big thing, which is June the 8th. Combo achievements, resurrection teams issue. Yeah. So I think... Close this. Yeah, buffs being properly removed from resurrected enemies. Yeah, so Lucy Ultimate not working. So that's easy to test and figure out why. That's going to be fairly straightforward, I think. Check other faction magic staffs that are overwriting each other properly. Yeah, easy to check because it was starting weapon. And then, yeah, visual effects. So easily. And yeah, here's the thing about solo game development. Here's a tip that I found really useful is sometimes you'll be quite overwhelmed with how much stuff you have to do, and you can end up looking at this big to-do list and find that it's just a bit like overwhelming, like you've got so many things to do, but there might be a few things on your list that you have to do. Like you're 100% certain that this is definitely something I have to do. And that's generally a good place to start. And the analogy I have is it's like working on a puzzle, and you start with the corners first, right? Because you know where the corners go. You know 100% top left corner goes out the top left corner. and then you do the edges, and then you start working your way into the things that are a bit like you're not sure, you have to think about a bit first, or the things where it's like I need to just wear a completely different hat. I have to take off my developer hat, and I have to take off my my artist hat and put on a sound effects hat, and so on, things like that. So yeah, let's do visual effect for sacrifice. So for starters, we have weapons and we have sacrifice. Effect prefab is sacrifice effect, and what is attached to that. So let's go GM weapons, navigate to our demons, and we find our sacrifice effect, and there is and it's using a heal at the moment, so obviously that's not right. Let's just make that to none. And how's that going to work? So we have sacrifice. So I'm going to want to create. So yeah, I haven't made an effect in a while, so I need to get back into the workflow of it. As you can see, the thing about wearing different hats, and I actually want to make just a totally new one. Although I would like to borrow the dimensions of I guess the beam. I mean, it's going to be very tall. So we go effects, magic effects. I just want to get a rough idea of how big this should be. So if we look at something like chain lightning chain, and that is 32 wide. So let's go 64. Width 64, height like 64 times, let's just go like 500, and it's going to be quite easy to scale because we are going to do, it's going to be very similar to the beam actually. So actually let's find the beam, ice beam, ice beam. And this is 64. Oh, it's only 32 wide. Interesting. Okay. And it has a similar sort of vibe to it. But we're going to want this like big pillar of light that's going to actually be appearing off screen. So we want our demon color. Although maybe it should be a bit brighter than that. And we'll just do like... So yeah, we start with a very thin beam. And I think this should be like a bit of a brighter. So we'll just take the same hue and everything, and we'll push it right up here. And then we'll have our standard demon color as our sort of fill. So we start with a beam. And I kind of want like so yeah, I'm actually going to go ahead and, so yeah, we've got our dimensions. I'm going to go ahead and get a character. So characters, doesn't matter which. And I'll just take that and we'll put that in here. So that's actually like the width that we want to be dealing with. So yeah, let's make this a bit bigger, and then we can, how do we do this? So if I paste that in, it ends up not actually being there. So let's go, yeah, 248 is that? I think 250 is just fine. And here's our character that's going to give us some sense of dimension. So there's that. So yeah, we would have our character, the beam's going to appear on them and actually obscure them. So we'll just keep that there. And the beam, so then we don't need this here. And this would need to go all the way up. And we'll just, as you can see, it's going to be really easy just to extend or shrink this if we need to. So we start just with a very thin beam. Let's slow that down. And then I think, and we can always add frames, but then I think in one frame we get to our like almost filling the sprite. And then we'll do a little circle. Just off the edge. I think it's actually like good practice to never use the last pixel. I just had that problem in another game. It hasn't really come up since, but for some reason, like sometimes sprites can like overlap to the next like bit in the sprite sheet. So we have this, and yeah, now we can go ahead and delete that. And we'll do a similar sort of similar to the ice beam. We've got this, and then it's filled with the red. Oh, we don't have it. It's filled with this red. Oh, hello. Can I pull up, please? Oh, I have. Okay. It's just that bit missing. So we take our demon red, we fill that in, but then we take this and we just kind of do some streaks. I guess we'll do some like thick streaks, maybe even thicker than that actually. Just to get this kind of like texture to it. And then maybe they shouldn't cover the full length, so it'd be like kind of random a little bit, like this. And then one here can go up to the top. And then we'll do like some thinner ones. Just kind of randomly placing them. And I would like to keep this shape. Let's do another layer just to keep it clean. And this would be like, yeah, and the skeleton was actually a good choice. So we go, yeah, we'll take this color. And then we'll take this color. And we'll probably put one in between here. So let's do this color. Just to have a bit of frames in between. Probably should have been using singles there. That's probably fine. Like that. thank you, babe. Yeah, and then we can delete this. Making my life difficult here by not zooming in enough, but like that. And then what I'm going to want to do is just kind of shuffle. Oh, that's nice. Well played, Otis. Well played me from earlier. We're going to just shuffle the lines a bit here. And then actually, so we get like, let's make this a bit bigger. And then I kind of just want to smudge this up. So like, take this layer. And then maybe, yeah, maybe let's cover the eyes. And then what we're going to do is like, kind of just like segment it up and like stretch it up. And then fill it in so it's like this stretchy, like stretching it up. Like that. See what I'm going for with this? And then maybe like start to kind of interesting, yeah, because it's over the line, so we'll take this.
sea, no quieres un slowly y ver la tele, entonces. Claro, eso fue lo que íbamos a hacer antes, solo que primero quise llamar a la abuelita.
Yeah, let's just and then really just morph the shit out of this. Let's go back to this background. So let's take this and copy it over here. This background, copy it over here. And then we're just really just going to demolish this bit of skeleton here. So we'll just stretch it up even higher. And in fact, we're just kind of looking at having a beam here. So I think we'll just delete it. And we'll just have like a... really kind of then we'll have another. Right, so we're going like that. And then we'll have this background. Okay, it's that frame that's a bit awkward, but we'll come back to it. And then we delete the skeleton and kind of just replace it with some of these lines. Just really thick lineage. So you can sort of imagine that this guy's been turned into beam. Beam, Cameroon beam. So then this one looks a bit funky. Yeah, kind of accidentally got some funky organic shape there. Yeah, it looks kind of funky. Right, that's better. And then we go back to that frame and then back to that frame. Okay, let's give that a try. So this is a magic effect. Sacrifice. Okay. And then we go into like one of these, and let's just take heal. Call it sacrifice. And we actually want to remove the animator here, just so that we can make it again. And we go, yep, create some animation. That goes in assets, animation, magic effects, sacrifice, where we start with, I guess we'll just, probably easier just to grab. So yeah, first sprite renderers. And we can take our thing here. This is a sprite 2D and UI, multiple 32-bit point no filter, apply sprite editor, and we it's 250 slice, and then we'll just drag this in. I'll just drag the fully formed beam in just to get the size. Okay, and this would, let's do something clever. So we take this and we slice it again, but this time we put the pivot at the bottom. Like that. And then so if this is where we intend the thing to be, so if we say that is on the point of the character, that should be right. So then, and yeah, hopefully, so yeah, I'm happy with that. Is that right? Yeah, I guess we can mess with the size a bit. We're not going to animate the size, so we can get rid of that one now. Call this sprite renderer. And we're probably going to have to make it a fair bit taller, but that's not going to be too difficult to do. And so let's go back to the beginning of it. Then we go animation. We start recording, and we say that after we quite quickly get to this phase, I think probably just, yeah, every couple frames. And then we go back to so yeah, you just very briefly see Yeah, and it probably is going to have to be quite a bit taller, but that will be that. And so we can go into GM and get our, scroll all the way down, see how much bloody stuff we have in this game, sacrifice effect, and pop that in. And test it, because I'm not even sure if sacrifice even tries to create an AoE effect, so we'll have to see. So then back to scenes, title screen. I mean, that is in now, so as long as we modify the object, we'll get the results. And of course, and yeah, this was fun. Guess it doesn't matter. Ooh, these look much nicer. Okay, yeah, so nothing appears. It is not even attempting to give us the sacrifice. So we go to weapon container sacrifice because it is its own thing. And then we do, what's the visual for the AoE effect? And we kind of just want to instantiate the thing. Yeah, I mean, we could just do our own, although we should probably use object pooling. So we do the AoE attack, but then here's the visual. I mean, since this is like a bespoke piece, maybe I don't need to plug into this system here. And then that should do it, to be honest. And we already have now I just need to make sure it has the thing that returns it to pool. So we go weapons, no, magic effects, sacrifice. This has return to pool after, does it not? Okay, I guess not. And does it actually, yeah, the last frame should be off. Okay, let's give that a whirl. Should be fun. and then we'll just kind of get a rough idea of how much taller it needs to be. Luckily, this is this one. I mean, it may change, but so far this one's always going to be centered on the player. Like it's going to be close to the player. Okay. So we're not even telling that where to go. And I think what we might want to do, since we do the same, so a unit here is actually slightly bigger. Not slightly, I think it's 3 times bigger. Yes, 3 times bigger. So in here, we actually just want this to be times 3 as well. So it's nice and chunky. Okay, that should do it. Okay, one thing is, so yeah, it's not nearly tall enough. And it also loops, which is really throwing it off. So, of course, need to get the animator. Loop time do not. And yeah, we're going to just have to make it much, much, much bigger. Okay, yeah, much, much, much bigger. So we need to, so if that was 250, it needs to be like at least 1,000. And we can kind of copy it up. So this one we can definitely just copy it up. And yeah, I'm okay with that shape being kind of repeated, the repeating pattern there. Just kind of doesn't, like just looking at it, doesn't immediately ring any alarm bells that I can see a repeated pattern. So this is fine. And yeah, these bits like that, yeah, I think that's fine. It's very, very subtle. And we can always go in and kind of mess with details like that later. But it does, I don't like feel the terror of this repeating pattern too much. But we can go in and kind of tidy up the tiling a bit, the seams. And yeah, I feel like I can kind of see it like there, for example, but it's actually quite subtle. Let's just get this main part of the job done. Just going to be cheeky here. Just bring that down just so that line kind of continues. Although, yeah, just because that line is so long, that one kind of does show a pattern. So I'm going to do something a bit cheeky here, and I'm just going to flip, paste, flip. And then I think what we can do, because this one is supposed to be a copy of that anyway, so we'll actually just take this, put that here. Oh, wrong. No, what's wrong with that? Copy that. Oh, it worked. Okay, just took a little second. And then this one can be copied over to this one. Okay, so export that. Oh, and yeah, I think when I sliced, is that at the bottom? No. So I'm curious as to why that didn't transfer over, because I thought it had kept the settings. So back in here, magic effects. How much time do I lose in general to being a moron like this? Okay, let's check it out. Oh, hello, Mussy Estere. Thanks for joining. How are you doing? Enjoying? Are you in the UK? The weather is really good. And I just went to muscle memory, just meet someone, ask about the weather. But yeah, how are you doing? Oh yeah, that's fun. Okay, if we zoomed out, I don't mind if I see the top of it when we're fully zoomed out. Yeah, oh, but actually that did work. But if we're zoomed out and we grab someone from all the way up there. Oh, but that's out of range, so it's never actually going to happen. Okay, great. Yeah, so that works. I mean, we can improve it a bit, but at least in theory, this is, you know, it works and it's really nice. And it's just very obvious that it's happened, because before it wasn't even clear that it had happened. So very nice. Very mean trick. Sacrifice one of your units to heal all the others. Okay, so that's good. And we can knock that off the list. Lovely. Right, so now we have consume. And consume we're going to have to write some code here, because consume works like a projectile, except it's going to happen in reverse. It goes from the target to the user, and it's not a projectile in the sense that it needs line of sight or anything. It just needs to move. So we will use similar colors, which we already have here. I will take this just to create my palette, or yeah, okay, so let's do new one, and never mind then. Okay, something in the middle. Oh no, it's just not appearing. Okay. So this is a little projectile. It just needs to be, I think 64 by 64 is probably about right. And what exactly should it look like? Just like a little soul. So I do actually want to take this color and bring it over, but I'm not sure exactly how. So I guess the easiest thing would be to take that, and just copy that. And we want just kind of this like sort of soul shape. Kind of reminds me of the orbs in Devil May Cry, which is, you know, that is basically a Behelit. With like maybe a bit of streak to it. So let's just bring this over a bit. Just give it a bit of a tail. And you know, nothing crazy. It's just a projectile. The second person today who's just popped in and said hello and then left, but you know, I don't mind. Okay. Yeah, I think that's, I mean, let's see how that looks. We can, I mean, ideally it would have like maybe a second frame of animation, just sort of wobbling a bit. So let's give that a crack. So that's new. So this will be, I don't know whether this is a projectile or an effect. So sprite, magic effect. I think we'll put it in projectiles. Magic effects. Do we not have a folder for that? Where do we have the arrow? Huh. Arrow, so this would be... Do we have all the project... Oh, here we go, yeah, projectiles is just in its own little sprite sheet there. Okay. Not ideal, but it's fine. So, yeah. Sprites. Yeah, let's put it in magic effects then. Consume. And yeah, let's just export that then. Consume. The hard part is going to be doing the code for this. So there we have it. Yeah. So then we make a prefab. And yeah, I think I'll just write my own script for it. So I'll just copy another prefab. So we'll just take like, I don't know, yeah, whatever. Wait, resurrect. Didn't I? Yeah. Yeah, it's on the animation, so that would work. So call this consume. Change that sprite to our consume sprite. Too big. Let's just make that one. Figure out the size and later. I just want to get this working in principle. Yeah, so not an AoE effect, although we can probably just have that because, yeah, it comes with the audio source and things like that. And then pull handler animator we don't need at the moment. And so I think I'm going to make a new script for this. So I guess I'll call this consume animation, or consume, or like backwards projectile in case we need it again. Yeah, let's call it, I don't know, what do we call this? Consume animation, and we'll change the name later if we need to. At the moment, this is the only thing this will apply to. So this, yeah, my lovely, lovely scripts folder, which is obviously very tidy, very organized. Consume animation. It just never really comes up, really. Like, people say you should organize your scripts into folders and stuff, but it just never comes up. I never see that ending being a problem. Okay, so here's our consume, saving failed. Ugh. So we want script on this, and basically it does a very simple thing. It does vector3 dot move towards, and then it's going to come with a public transform source, public transform target, vector3 move towards. We do move towards comes with, say, a so source, target, and then time dot delta time times speed, and we'll just do a private int, private float here. And it's that, and then we'll just do a like if transform dot position is equal to target dot position. So speed equals 10. Then if transform dot position, then game dot c dot return to pool game object. And then that means that, yeah, so the time limit on the timer can go. I think I've already set that up, but let's just give it, okay. And so when this spawns, it will just do that. So all we need to do is spawn it and then give it its bits. So we say, yeah. So if we're doing a consume, so I think that's going to be in weapon container. Okay, so that counts as a magic attack, and then we'll just do a bespoke, like, so we'll need to store this somewhere. I guess it is the yeah. So we do a get pool. How did we do it for sacrifice? Just do a get pooled object, and then we move the get pooled object and set it up. So we go, and first of all, yeah, has an effect prefab. I wonder if I even need to do that. I think probably the easiest way would just be to embrace the spaghetti and do that. So if it's this, then do this kind of effect, and we need to say consume animation equals AoE effect dot get component consume animation dot oh, this would be do we have character dot? Who's the person who owns the weapon? Character container. Of course, recent development. Okay, and so I hope what that will do is spawn this thing and then make it fly towards the player from the target. And then yeah, I might end up giving it like a buff or something, like make it buff the player a bit as well. I think that would be nice. So we go into scenes, main game, GM, scroll all the way down to our consume, and the consume effect should be the consume effect. And then now we need to test it. So I go here and I say consume, nice and easy, eh? And give it a whirl. See if it does it. Ooh, I just considered it. So the position of it. So it would be. Yeah, let's do a. So let's do consume animation. Transform. Look at target, and then what I'll probably have to do is just like rotate it. So just make it look up, because it will do it on the. Can I do look at with like an offset? So I'm going to look this up. Unity transform dot look at with 90-degree offset. Okay, I'm going to phrase it as a question so that Gemini answers. In Unity, how can I do a transform dot look at with a 90-degree offset? Oh, that's complicated. Okay, so it's going to be easy just to rotate the object, but let's see if we can get this working first. So what I'll do is quite simply rotate, so it's looking up. Let's just assume that's going to be the case and do that. And then maybe actually the face would be like oriented like that as well. So let's just do that, export, and then see what we end up with, see how it looks. Just give it a whirl. So I think we're all set to test this now. So let's test it. That white looks crap in this context. What does that look like? So I need to lose health for him to do it. Okay, I'm going to do a little like so I can hurt myself to make sure that I can consistently see it, but it appeared to not be moving. So why isn't it moving? Is it just going really slow? Oh, I remember now. It's God. I've been coding for 9 years, and I've been using this one for 9 years, but still make this mistake. So we have our consume animation and transform dot position equals, and also I want it to do the look towards with some of the axis frozen. So if we do projectile, but then because I think the arrow, for example, so let's have a look at that. For some reason we've got explosive arrow here. Does that have a thing that makes it look at the is it because the so it's yeah, because we want it to stay. I can't remember how to do the rotation, so it only does it on the axis that you want it to. Rotate to face the target. Is that how we did it? How do I do the rotation on just one axis? So calculate direction and distance. So that's for the chain effect, but I don't really want that here. Do we never look at point weapon at target, and then how do we do this? Jesus, is that how much it takes just to point the weapon at the target? Okay, we don't need to worry about that. Should I just copy this? And we can just do it in the start method, so it's not doing all that every frame. So this would be, if that's pointing at the target, so this would be our target, and this would be our source. I think that should do it. And that will actually make a, because I can't remember if the start method I literally can't remember if the start method happens whenever it's set active true. I don't think it does. Is it like on? Is it? I can't remember what it is. Unity code to run on set active. I think I can just do public void face target, and then when we make it, we just do, so consume. Oh, but that would definitely need to happen after we've actually set the target. This should probably happen. Yeah. Okay, let's give that a whirl. I mean, it's moving. So let me double check that. So it's obviously following something, but I think it's following the wrong thing. I think maybe it's just moving absurdly slow. So the source is the daemon, the target is Archibald, and it is moving towards and yeah, we don't need to look at anymore. So let's make speed 1,000. I mean, I would have thought 10 would be fine. Maybe let's go to 100 first. Let's see what the problem is here. Decent turnout today for my standards. You gonna do it? Oh, I need to damage myself first. Okay, is it because... So the target position will update, but I think because the... Have I just like I've done this plenty of times before, it's just a simple move from one position to another. But if the source position keeps changing... Oh, no. Here's what it is. So it starts where it is. Do I have any other move towards in the game? Yeah, the projectile. Yeah, so we take the... Yeah, okay, so it's just me being stupid. So we don't actually need to track the origin of the... we don't need this. God, I forget the most basic things. I did see a LinkedIn post that made me feel a bit better about this, which was... basically that people who've been coding for 20 years still have to Google the most basic things just to remember to it. And that makes me feel a bit better about embarrassing moments like this where I'm just forgetting basic shit like this. Okay, let's just not touch that because it is useful for that. Okay, so yeah, that's that. And that was the problem. Silly me. How fast does the projectile fly? 100. Oh no, I'm looking at. So projectile. Speed. Oh, different. Ah, so that's in the prefab. speed is 10, so 10 should do it. Okay, yeah. I guess what we'd like to see is for the heal effect not to occur until the projectile has reached the user. Maybe that's not such a big deal. Certainly like it to be bigger. So let's just go ahead and make that a 3. We'll make the sprite renderer a 3. And it does appear to be looking like facing the right way. And is it even damaging the allies, the enemies? So I'm going to do a funny thing. I'm going to go enemy spawner. We're just not going to have any enemies. Just so that it's easier to tell what's going on. Because I don't think it's damaging. It should be damaging. It should be damaging the target. Oh, I see. So we'll use this prefab, and actually we don't want this to be exclusive. Ah, I see. Yeah, that's what's happening. So this isn't an else. This is in addition to. Yeah, silly me. So we heal us, but we still make the AoE effect, and the AoE effect can be nothing, but as long as it gets the thing. So we go back to scenes. So I knew this would be fiddly, but I think it's for a good cause. It goes down, down. Does page down work? Oh, no. Go down, down, down. See how many bloody weapons I have. Okay. Consume. Okay, so we need consume chain effect. And then actually, yeah, so consume effect would point to null. This should be null. Oh wait, no. No, we just say effect prefab. We just clear that. And then that should make it null. I'll know pretty quickly. And yeah, that should work. I expect that to work. And then we can think about having some kind of so if we wanted the heal to occur only when the sprite has reached the caster, we can easily do that with a coroutine. But it's not that easy. I don't know, I'll have to look into it. So, oh, hello. Okay, what's the issue? Huh. Do we not take... Oh, wait. So, yeah, chain effect. So, initialize... That's because we haven't made the effect prefab. Do we not? So when do we do the chain effect for the chain weapons? When do we load those in? When do we load in the chain effect? I can't remember. Where do I pull? Where do I get my? Like, is it just a matter of? Yeah, it's got that. So it can't be null. A weapon container can't be null. So then what do we have for... So we have to have an effect in there. Should we just do like a slash effect? Let's just see if that fixes it. So it doesn't like being null. So we go consume. And yeah, I guess we've got to do sort effect. See if that fixes it without ruining anything. Weird quirk. Wasn't expecting that bug, but there we have it. I sort of thought that some of them were null, and that if it was null, it would just kind of not make it, but I guess. Okay, and is our consume object appearing? Weapon container. Is this like moving too fast or something? And first off, actually, consume range should be like quite high. Let's even go with like 15. We want it to just like range doesn't matter. Because I'm wondering if our little consume object that we made is still working. Or if it was just too quick for me to see. Oh. Okay, so it appears that that's not like instantiating. Effect container. And yeah, it doesn't exist there. So if I had chain lightning, so let's just do a cheeky okay. So where does the chain effect come in? Okay, we instantiate it. Okay, let's just do that then. We don't need to pull this. Maybe we should pull it, but yeah. So we'll just instantiate it rather than object pooling. But maybe we should with the chain effects, because that could get hairy and that could hit. So I will put that on the list. I'm not going to do it now. Use object pooling for chain effects. Because I guess I just skipped it because, you know, that's not gonna. Oh, that's not gonna tank. Hmm. Oh, I see. Okay, right. So another interesting quirk here. So because that is a, so yeah, we need to make sure. So this is a chain effect, and yeah, we don't have any. We just have to destroy after. And I'll go to consume. And yeah, we don't need this. Don't need that, but let's not remove it because we might want it later. Okay, and then so on the consume, and I'll just put this here as a reminder. I won't delete it. I'll just go destroy. Because yeah, we should use object pooling. It's generally good practice, but in this case, it's just not necessary. Because it's not going to happen very often. It's not like we're going to have thousands of these or even dozens at a time. Although the chain lightning probably should be pooled. So destroy after, let's say, let's just give it like a whopping 10 seconds because it should reach its target before it runs out of time. Oh, come on. What now? But why? What's wrong with slash effect? So, but slash effect. That's very odd. That is very odd. So first of all, why have we instantiated a slash effect? So we go to weapon container, the weapon.chain effect. I'm just a bit confused as to why this is an issue. Oh, I'm a moron. Absolute moron. Yeah, as always, just me being a moron. Oh. I knew this would be a pain, and it is a pain. Okay. Okay. So what I want is to go into, so yeah, I think we're there, but we need this to be at 45 degree, or is it minus 45? Almost there with this one. Yep, that's correct. Okay, but actually it seems like, I think I'll just modify it. So it's actually rotated on its axis a bit. So assume why does that feel so rotated? Okay, the rotation's definitely not working. So actually I think okay, yeah, so the sprite should always be like looking at the camera. How did I do this with arrows? Oh, the arrows are always like facing up. Oh, okay, so let's try that. So actually this should be 90 degrees. And I think what I'm actually going to do is not have any look at and just have it not have a direction, just make it be a face that just moves without rotating. Yeah, I'm just gonna do that. So I'm gonna get rid of this. I've had some time to look at it. So no face target, it is just an object that should be minus 45. And the sprite should be just upright like that, and we can just delete all of this, delete the tail. So it's just your standard red orb a la Devil May Cry. But, you know, very, very low detail, but that's fine. We can come back and do glow up. I just wanted to make sure this was here. Because basically we're going to get to a point pretty soon where the only thing I can do to improve the game besides adding to it, and I'm not going to add to it, we've got the content, and like making the story and stuff, is just making it look nicer. And then we can go through each thing. So I've obviously, God, I feel like, yeah, there we go. I feel like I've just lost so much time just to being a bit crap in the head, a bit dumb, but you know, that's life. Yeah, that works. Okay. There is one thing we could do, is we could actually turn that into an item. Which would have some kind of synergies. So we could say what we spawn here. So we put this on. So yeah, let's just delete this. And then weapon container should give a. Yeah. And basically, so we delete that. Where's effect amount private? Shouldn't be. It's serializable, I get it. So public float effect amount, and let's hope that hasn't like messed with all of them. So we go items. So a chicken has an effect amount, mana. Yeah. And so what we do is we take this, I think this is probably going to be the way to do it. So we're going to take an item, say a chicken. Is this the best way to do it? I'm just thinking of a way to, but because the fact that it would be an item would make it synergize. So we turn it into a healing item. So we say like fact, yeah, let's take this, call this like soul. And then soul on its sprite renderer is consume, right? And then item, so then where do we set items? So then we go it's very messy, probably should be doing from a list here. Items dot soul. So we go into items. Yeah, so messy this code. Do a tiny bit of tidying just because it's so damn obvious. Okay, no, we'll just leave it like that then for now, because they're going to have different amounts. Okay, and then the soul prefab. Oh, not as many as I need. How's it going, Willie? How you doing? Just for joining. Not enough. That's the answer to that question. Yeah, just kind of dealing with like little bits, little visual things. Basically, the game is programmed pretty well. It's just purely on kind of getting onto visuals. There are bugs and whatnot. There's still room for improvement in the code for sure, but we're basically there. Yeah, cheers for dropping by. How's your game going? How's it? God, I keep forgetting the name. Rune Blacksmith, how's it going? How's that doing? Okay, let's see how this works now. So we're just making soul prefab. Oh, I need to set that. Oh, that would be... Yeah, no, that's not bad actually. And then yeah, when you do discounts, you'll sell a bit more. That's pretty good. Frost buff stripe, right? How could that be missing? So I want to go to items. There it is. Soul prefab. Yeah, violent. Yeah, yeah. No, that's pretty good selling one a day. That's not terrible. And then yeah, look forward to sales and the demo hasn't been updated for a while, so I would wait a bit. I would wait a bit to do the demo. I'll put a. I don't know if you're on the Discord, but I probably will make some because we've got Bullet Fest coming on the 8th of June, so just around the corner, a couple weeks. And I'm gonna update the demo and trailer for that, so that would be a good time to try it on the 8th of June. But yeah, you know, do discounts when you can get them, and yeah, fests are good as well. Like, I don't know, like Card Fest or Deck Builder Fest, or I don't know what fests are coming up that are relevant. But always check those out. You'll have your Steamworks dashboard. Okay. Discord's pretty dead, to be honest. There's nothing going on in the Discord. But yeah, at some point I am going to do an big update to the demo before the 8th of June. And I will do at everyone on the Discord, which, you know, you have to be careful with that. Because people don't like to be spammed for good reason. Okay, so where am I at with this? So I did set up items. And this should work. And yeah, I probably should have sat down for a bit and thought, wouldn't it be better just to spawn an item that does this thing? But yeah, we'll see. And this could be potentially quite powerful because if you have a looter build, this will actually synergize with that. And I don't know if that's clear. And I wonder if there's more ways I could mess with that, like more moves you could do that's like, you know, you hit someone and a piece of chicken comes off, that kind of thing, just to like have weapons, or besides the chicken rain talent, have weapons that spawn an item. That could be fun. I'm going to put that on the design notes. Some weapons that spawn items or allies. And then it made me think, replace plague. So plague plus AoE would be like, could be an item spawning thing. That's an interesting thought. Anyway, let's test this out. Okay. That doesn't matter, I'm just testing things. Right. Well, Looter's buff, yeah, that's going to be great. So 2, 2, 2, and then hit him with a 1. Okay, that's fine. Okay. because we've instantiated it. No, we don't want to instantiate it. Okay, that's a good start though. Equals gm dot, is it c dot get pulled object? No, c dot get pulled object. Lovely. Is that healing everyone? Oh yeah, because items do that. That's probably fine. Because I mean, you know, that's obviously that's a big difference. But so gm dot collect item. What do we keep this as? Item dot effect amount. Okay, so here's where we collect an item and we say well, hold on. No, let's just leave it like that. And we could just say chicken, heal the player. And then we go if item I mean, we could just make another one that's called soul. I think that's probably easier. So we'll pull this chicken. Did I do looter? this is where it should be. I don't see it. Thought I did it. Okay, good. Right, bit fiddly, but we made it. Okay. Speed is too high. And actually, after all of this, I wonder if this is even a good one. But at least, like, if we did want to have something that spawns an item that just moves directly to the player, we've got that. Yeah, that's too fast. It's like healing the player too much. So what we would do is just... And it should probably give a buff. So... Consume should buff player. And then we can do something like... Yeah, so attack speed should be like 4. And it should buff the player with a 4-second buff. That should make you quite strong. And that's an interesting combo there. Yeah, interesting. Okay. Okay. I don't feel like testing the game because at the moment because I'm pretty happy with where the game is. A little bit burnt out at the moment. But I think I'm going to do the Lucy ultimate. So I think that's easy to test. I just go M, yeah, and then I can test Lucy's ultimate and find out what's going on there. Because I don't know why that's a problem. Yeah, don't know why there's a problem there. Maybe it shouldn't be meteors, maybe it should be some kind of inferno, but Lucy meteors. Where do we keep those? Okay, so it's be meteors. Okay, yeah, so that's going to be all wonky. To be honest, I'm a bit burnt out. Like I've figured out these things. So we got our consume effect done. And yeah, I think we'll keep that. We won't remove that, but it should give a buff as well. And yeah, it slowed it down. That was a good choice. Shit, I guess I can come to these bugs later. Like I just my head is having trouble switching to fixing that Lucy buff. But the Banshee should have a frost explosion on death, and I agree. So we're gonna have a look at characters. When I can't find things, that means it's time to just so we can deal with the ones that we're using. So characters. And we've got Bomba. Let's see, a Death Rattle. So we look at Banshee. And so the Bomba has double scimitar. Do we have a death rattle penalty? We do. Okay, yeah. And what is that? Okay. So perhaps the Banshee should have just put that in for now. And since she has a death rattle, she'll have less HP. And we change her and we'll just give her another icicle. I think that's fine. We already have other characters that have 2 icicles, but maybe she could have icicle and chain lightning. Maybe Banshee Cry was fine. I'm just going to not change it for now. That's a possible change. But let's give her the frost explosion in addition to that. Okay, so then we need to make... So we go weapons. Explosion. And then we do... Okay, and then we would take, let's tidy these up a bit, that can go. Okay, well yeah, we did artifacts today, that was good. Just open up explosion. Is it explosive arrow? It is. That's the one we use. It's pretty good. And then basically, so I'll just save this as frost explosion. And then we take our frost colors, which are here, and we go, just change the color of it. We could just do it in white and have it change. And have it change in script, but I think this is fine. And then actually, while I'm here, we should use our standardized fire colors. I think probably a good idea. We're going to go and take the frames from explosion, from explosive arrow, just to get the timings, so I don't have to keep going back and forth. So the timing's exactly the same. I mean, I probably would have been better off just having a white explosion that I changed the color of, but you know, we're here now. Then we go frost explosion, animation, we copy those over, except we just need to make sure we're pointing to the correct sprite in each case. So frost explosion to frost explosion 1. And then we go GM, weapons, all the way down to our explosion. Where is it? Where do we keep it? Weapons. First explosion, just before black bean. Okay. Odd place to have it. But yeah, there it is. And there we are. So that should do that. I'm confident that will work. I guess I should test it. Test Banshee. So we can go back to enemy spawner. And go back down to green beans. Bring this back. And okay, yeah, I'll take a quick break and I'll be back, and then I think we'll just do another little playthrough maybe. We'll see. Be back shortly. Check. Okay, so when we add a buff, I'm just going to jump right into this one. So when we add a buff, like, was it double buff that was making that thing happen? Where characters would just... So when we do on spawn, reset buffs. Yeah, so that it shouldn't be that, so it's not what I thought it was. So we might, I mean, especially since performance is kind of okay at the moment, we can probably just afford to just hard reset a character when they're spawned. So I'll look into that closely. That's a really horrible bug there. Lucy Ultimate not working. So let's try and figure out why that is. I think when we did that we were running from a build, so maybe I'll get some kind of error if I try it outside the build. And the way I did it was that it should work whether we're doing the big meteor or if we're doing the meteor rain. Oh, yeah, okay. So we pick Lucy. Okay, yeah, we are getting an error there. So it's the weapon. So yeah, I definitely tested this when I first made it. I keep feeling like I need to point that out just to make it look like I haven't just made this massive bug and left it in there. Let me just double check that Beanie's one is working. Yeah, Beanie's one is working. Is it because a weapon is supposed to have should be a switch case. Okay, weapon, arrow, rain. Meteor effect. Okay, yeah, I'm a bit burnt out, so I'm not going to be able to figure this out right now. Okay, so when we do starting weapons, so how do we determine didn't we have so yeah, her starting weapon ends up being the human version. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, at least I have a lead. So it would have to be. Because it might not be. That will fix it. That's so spaghetti, though. That's so weird. But I think that should fix it. Yeah, no, it hasn't fixed it. Okay. So we want to get the upgrade that matches her faction. I mean, we could just make it called Demon Fireball. Is it even... Yeah, so we make a new weapon that is fireball. That is the faction. So she should be. Silly me. Okay, this will fix it. Yeah, that already looks fixed. Yeah, it's got the right color. Yep, fixed. Okay, good. God damn it. Okay, I think I'm going to leave it there. It's 4 o'clock, but yeah, it's a hot day, and yeah, I need a little break. So thanks everyone who joined. Really appreciate if I get a subscriber. Makes my day every time, and I'll be back tomorrow morning. Yeah, I'll be back tomorrow morning, but not in. Oh yeah, no, I'm about tomorrow. Yeah, so no issues tomorrow, and then so yeah, I'll be back tomorrow morning. Cheers. Bye.